Hello beautiful people, welcome to my Bohemian Dreams channel. My name is Debby and I'm here to make you stretch yourself and live your dream. My dream actually was to live abroad. I have done that several times and it actually still is a dream. But in 2014 I had the honor of living in Nicaragua for a year. And recently Nicaragua has been at war and it saddens me to the bottom of my heart to see these people suffer. And Nicaragua has been my home. Nicaragua gave me a daughter. Nicaragua is such a beautiful country with even more wonderful people, and I wanted to give them some credit because I'm so in love with this country. I still miss it to bits. So I'm here to talk to you about the best and worst of living in Nicaragua. And just as I don't like people to... Oh my god, there's this fly. Just as I don't like people to share the good news with me before they give bad news, I will share the worst with you first to then share with you the best. So the worst thing, of course, is the corruption. And then I don't mean only in the politics, but of course, if you grow up in a corrupt country, you will find it anywhere. People who are friends will have benefits, and people who fall outside of the box will be threatened or blackmailed. So you really need to kind of be aware of the people you connect with, and it feels like you can never really fully trust someone because at some point they will take advantage of you, or you will see that they did have an agenda for being friends with you. Another thing is that people always show up late and they won't even cancel. It's just sometimes they don't show up at all. And for me, as a Dutch European girl who has always been raised with a very strict and timed agenda, didn't really work. Then the same thing, of course, goes for public transport, for the buses. The buses in the city. You just go to the bus stop and wait for the bus to come. There's not like a schedule where buses come. You just have to wait. And then if the bus comes and it's full, bad luck for you. You just have to wait for the next one. I do remember a couple of years ago I worked at a festival and had some Latins coming over to the Netherlands, and they were actually laughing at our bus stops that have the minutes counting down of when the next bus is coming to arrive, with the line of the bus on it as well. So that's to show you a bit of contrast there. Another thing that really annoyed me at some point, so in the beginning I really liked the gallo pinto, that's like the national dish. It's rice and beans and it tastes really good. But they have that everywhere. And after a while you just want to taste something else, like your taste buds just get bored. And of course, there's a bunch of other things, but I was a vegetarian back at the time. So it was pretty much of a challenge to do that. And I remember when I was with the family of my ex-boyfriend, one time I brought all of this nice food and stuff from the Netherlands, and I made pancakes for them. But even with the pancakes or with their pasta, they wanted to eat rice. And I felt super offended because they didn't eat my dish. They just saw it as a side dish. So yeah, so much trying for having them taste something else. But they're really addicted to the gallo pinto. And it's not bad, I'm not saying that it's bad, it's just I got kind of bored with a huge kitchen we have here in the Netherlands. Well, I'm not saying that we have a huge type of Dutch food, but we have like worldwide food accessible here. And then what really annoyed me was the police that is even catcalling. When you walk on the street, you will get catcalled just because you're a gringa, you're white skin. Probably you wear other clothes than the Christian women on the street do, and so you will get catcalled. And I actually speak Spanish, and really you don't want to know what these guys are actually saying. It is gross. And the worst thing is, even the police does it, even when there is a law that forbids it. So talking about corruption, it's a huge thing. Also, poverty is big there. It's really big. It's really a problem. And now you see that the president is actually where all the money goes. It's sad for these people because they work really hard. They work really hard. I actually got a gun put to my head once. They stole my iPhone. They stole, like, I just had a really small purse with me, which was stupid because I shouldn't have gone out and about on the street at night with a bag as a foreigner in Managua, the capital city. But I actually got a gun put to my head. You know, it's sad that people need to go out, put guns on other people, innocent, other people's heads, just to get some money. But that's what the reality is like. And you will see that not only with personal attacks, but you will also see kids sniffing drugs on the streets, washing cars for a couple of pesos, and a lot of orphans on the streets. It's really sad. It's something right here in the Netherlands I couldn't even imagine. And then there's the drugs and the alcohol. Of course, Nicaragua is like on the way from Colombia to Mexico, so of course there's gonna be drug traffic. It's available everywhere, a lot of people use it, and the alcohol, well, same thing. People even drive drunk, like it's normal there. Like every time we had a party and some of our friends had a car, they just went and drive with alcohol. Yeah. And if you don't have a car, well, it's not a city in which you can go out on the street at night, so you need a cab driver. But not just any cab driver, because they might rape you, they might, I don't know, steal from you, ask you for too much money because you're a foreigner. So you actually need a phone number of a trusted cab driver. And there's been many nights where like I had like 3 phone numbers where all 3 of my cab drivers weren't working, and it's like, oh my gosh. So my card was full, so I need to start all over. I finished the video. Does that ever happen to you? I hate that so much. But here we are again. So I was talking about the cab drivers. So sometimes when I didn't have any other phone numbers left, I couldn't go out because you cannot walk on the streets. Biking is not an option. There's no public transport at night because it's not safe. So yeah, and sometimes my friends would show up, but of course, you know, they would also kind of get fed up with having to drive for the rich foreigners, and you know, they were like, okay, just go figure stuff out yourself because you live here now. So, time to talk about the good things, the nice things about living in Nicaragua. Of course, the first thing is the street food. Go buy the street food. It's so amazing. The gallo pinto in banana leaves. It's like $2 and it's amazing. Like, oh my gosh, I would die to go to Nicaragua, to Granada right now and buy some of that stuff. Although I think right now there's no like people selling that on the streets. And then the colors that are everywhere and the music, like wherever you go, even in the shops, there's like MCs talking out loud, like really loud. In the buses, there's music. When you wake up in the morning, there's people yelling out on the streets, like they're selling, I don't know, bread or fruits. The fruits are amazing, by the way. It's really cheap, it's really fresh, it's really good. And like the papayas and the avocados, they're big. And here in, I don't know if you're from Europe or somewhere else watching this, but here in Europe, like you can hold it in your hand. They're so small. So when I came back from Nicaragua, I was like, what is this? It's like, this is just the seed with a bit of avocado around it. It's crazy, the difference. So, and I also really love, like, you know, the mango and having the fresh avocado from the tree in the garden. It's amazing. But I also heard like that there's literally like people killing each other over having a fight about other people picking fruits from their tree, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about negative stuff anymore. And then of course we have the chill out vibe. It's like the heat is so... I can't find the word for it. It's like, it's so overwhelming. It's so hot that you cannot do as much as we do in the colder climates. So it's logical that people live a slower paced life. But you see that in the whole culture, like the many dates we have in one day in an agenda here in the Netherlands, it would be just one in Nicaragua. Because like here we have the supermarkets all close by. In Nicaragua it would take me a whole afternoon to go to a supermarket and walk back. Of course it would be quicker with a cab, but you know, it's when you live like a local and you don't have a lot of money, you don't want to pay for a cab if you can walk during the day. So naturally people take longer time to accomplish something. And I'm not saying that they're lazy, I'm not saying that we're better or that they're worse, but it's different. And the natural inertia that's there, I really like it because it taught me so much about the life we live here. And I honestly had a really hard time getting back to life here in the Netherlands. And not just the slower pace, but also the fact that in here everybody's like glued to their phone. And like when I was in the train, there's no one watching or looking for a conversation. While in Nicaragua, I always had fun conversations in the buses. It's so nice, like people actually talk to each other, they make time for each other. Not always, of course, because they have TV and internet as well. But generally, yeah, I really needed to get used to that again in the Netherlands. Then another really fun thing that I loved doing when I found out that the supermarkets actually have American prices. And like, I am used to go to a supermarket to do my groceries. So when I found out that the locals just go to pulperias or to the markets to do their groceries, I started doing that as well. But the markets are... You really need to know like the way, because they're kind of a maze and you need to know which department is where. You need to know how to lower the prices because people are going to ask higher prices. And you need to know how to cope with catcalling. And also, please don't go to the meat department. It's gross. It's really gross. And make sure you're with a local, because if you go, for example, to Oriental, the market in Managua, one of the markets, it's the biggest market in Central America. People get lost. People get killed. you don't want to get lost there. You don't want to be robbed. Don't go there by yourself, really. You can go to the Wembes market, but not Oriental. Please don't do that. Don't take out your phone in the markets. Just, you know, really explore the markets. There's so much fun, and there's everything from art to clothes to bags to food to souvenirs, shoes, stuff for in your house like cutlery and plates and like everything you need. You can buy mattresses there, you can buy pellets if you want to make a lounge for in your garden, but go with a local, really. They know the normal prices, and they know, you know, they know when someone can be trusted, or they know where you should not go. And then the best thing, like always save the best for last. Well, I don't know if it's the best, but I studied intercultural communication and I'm a linguist, so I'm really fond of these things. In Nicaragua, they don't have addresses. So how do you explain, for example, to a cab driver where to go, right? So you tell them where the mall is or where the cinema is. Take 2 blocks to upward and then 1 block to the left. And if you wonder, upward, so in Nicaragua, they don't necessarily, well, they do have it, but the normal reference is up or down. Arriba, abajo. And up is where the sun comes up, so that's east, and down is where the sun goes down. And I really needed to get used to that, because when you're in a street and you don't know about where the sun goes up or down, then of course you don't know like what they mean. So I had this map in my room, and after a while I kind of got it, like, oh yeah, so that's where the sun goes down, so that's west. So yeah, I really needed to figure that out. And what's also fun is that when, for example, the cinema that they refer to isn't there anymore, then the address would be where the cinema used to be, go 2 blocks up and 1 block to the left. How much fun is that? I mean, that's amazing. I love that. Like, and I think that's a whole different way of referencing, rather than just seeing a name of a street and a number, because you need to know the place. So yeah, those were my worst and best experiences from living in Nicaragua. I hope you liked it. If you've been to Nicaragua, please share with me what you liked best. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I would love for you to subscribe, because I need at least 1K subscribers if I want to monetize this channel. And of course, I am going to travel with my daughter, and so I would love to share these adventures here with you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. Have a magical day. Namaste.